Okay, I know katana schoolgirls are pretty much everywhere, but man, I'm still a sucker for them. Also, have y'all seen Noshiro artworks by her illustrator? They are all super fire and so good. Hey everyone, Milkshake here. Today we'll be talking about Azur Lane's demon katana schoolgirl, Noshiro.
本日着任しました。阿賀野型2番艦の野代と申します。お互い自分の価値を相手に証明できるよう共に努力しましょう。
Noshiro is a super rare light cruiser from Sakura Empire. She's of the Agano class and her sisters include Agano and my favorite from the Musashi pools, Sakawa.
Oh, well, we got Sakawa. Okay, that's one down. That's one down. Yep. Please, let me get the sister. Just the sister. Come on. Okay, we got another Sakawa. Okay. Another Sakawa. Okay. Just give me the sister and we are fine. Okay, we got another Sakawa. This is seriously... Look, we have 3 Sakawas. God damn.
In-game, Noshiro only has a voice line when sorted with Agano, probably because Sakawa came into the game much later. Her voice actress is Anju Inami, who also voiced Isokaze in Azur Lane. She does have many other roles, with her most notable one being Chika Takami from the Love Life series. Alright, so let's talk about references. Noshiro was named after the Yoneshiro River in Akita Prefecture in Japan. The actual Noshiro light cruiser was equipped with 2 Aichi E-13A aircrafts, which was long-range reconnaissance seaplanes. As reconnaissance seaplanes, their primary purpose was to observe and report enemy movements, so this is probably why Noshiro has the 9th highest accuracy in Azur Lane. In one of her skins called Cozy Enclave, Noshiro mentions Desron too, and while she was talking about the things that made her busy, one of the tasks had something to do with Jinsu. It was not explicitly stated in the game, but it could be a reference to her taking over Jinsu's responsibilities as the flagship of Desron 2, after Jinsu sank during the Battle of Kolombangara.
二水船参ります。阿賀野に頼まれたお菓子のレシピに指揮官の任務の書類、あと陣痛たちの、いろいろ忙しいわね。
One of Noshiro's skills is called Noshiro's Hoarfrost, which increases her evasion rate and decreases torpedo damage taken by your vanguard. Her own evasion stat is pretty high too, ranking 11th out of a total of 35 among all the light cruisers in the game so far. This emphasis on evasion could be a reference to the few occasions when Noshiro managed to escape certain doom. During 1944, prior to the Battle of the Philippine Sea, Noshiro and her group of other IJN ships successfully evaded all the attacks from not 1 but 4 US submarines. Even during the Battle of the Philippine Sea itself, Noshiro escaped the battle undamaged. Another occasion was the Battle of the Sibuyan Sea on the 24th October 1944, of which Noshiro and other IJN ships were attacked 11 times by aircraft from Task Force 38's carriers Essex, Lexington, Intrepid, Cabot, Franklin, and Enterprise. And you guessed it, Noshiro also escaped this battle unharmed. As for the decreased torpedo damage from this skill, it could be a reference to when Noshiro was hit by a Dart Mark 13 aerial torpedo from the air raid by Task Force 38's carriers Saratoga and Princeton during November 1943. On the other hand, Noshiro's second skill called Sky Slayer's Edge increases her damage against enemy carriers and light carriers. This could be a reference to Noshiro's participation in the sinking of the US carrier Gambier Bay, which was one of the 2 cases of an aircraft carrier being sunk by only naval gunfire. She also managed to hit the escort carrier USS White Plains with her shells during the same Battle of Samar. These 2 occasions of taking down carriers with shells could also be the reason why Noshiro has the 12th highest firepower stat among all the light cruisers in the game so far. Noshiro does have a voice line whenever she sorties with Hornet or Wasp. This is because these 2 ships were the ones that led to Noshiro's demise. Well, there was also USS Cowpens too, but she isn't in the game yet. So the first attack was by Wasp and Cowpens, with the most destructive blow being the torpedo hit in Noshiro's boiler room and instantly flooding it. This eventually led to Noshiro being stuck dead in the water. Afterwards, while emergency repairs were being done, the next attack by Hornet struck another torpedo to Noshiro, which led to more flooding and Noshiro sank.
少し距離をお願いできます？
Alright, so let's talk about Noshiro's skills. Her first skill is called Noshiro's Hoarfrost. While this ship is afloat, increases this ship's evasion rate by 15% and decreases the torpedo damage your Vanguard takes by 20%. Now this is a very good skill, because Noshiro has the 64th HP stat out of a total of 100 among all the light cruisers in the game so far, which isn't the best. So with a pretty high evasion stat mentioned before, plus the increased evasion rate and reduced torpedo damage, it really boosts her survivability. This is also really useful for her next skill called Skyslayer's Edge. Increases the damage this ship deals to enemy CVs and CVLs by 20%. While this ship is afloat, increases the torpedo of your Vanguard by 20%. It also increases the Vanguard's crit rate by 12%, starting at skill level 7. Now the best thing about this skill is that the second and third buffs apply to herself too, which not only complements the first buff of dealing increased damage to carriers and light carriers, but also her very high torpedo stat and 175% torpedo efficiency. Furthermore, because of her increased survivability, she can remain in the field longer and apply this buff to other Vanguard ships. But, in my opinion, the best part about this skill is that it stacks with Jinsu. So for those who are still farming for Jinsu and are unsure what she does, she essentially gives a very big boost to torpedo damage after retrofit. This opens up opportunities to either overtune the torpedo power of the last ship in the Vanguard or have two different torpedo teams with Noshiro and Jinsu providing their buffs to their respective fleets. Alright, so let's talk about gear. To maximize Noshiro's relatively high firepower stat, I will go with HE main guns. Her reload stat is actually pretty average, ranking 19th out of a total of 32 among all the light cruisers in the game so far. So with that, I go with high damage guns instead, like the triple 155mm aka Best Girl gun or its variant from Gear Lab. As for torpedoes, it all comes down to playstyle. For autoplay, you can go with the 533mm Quintuple or its variant from Gear Lab. You can also use the Rainbow Quintuple Magnetic Torpedo, which can also be used for manual play when face-swapping enemies, since nearly all the torpedoes will be guaranteed to hit the target. Other manual play options that offer higher damage per torpedo is the 610 Quadruple or its variant from Gear Lab. Okay, so moving on to skins. Noshiro has had quite a number of skins since release, and the first one we have to talk about is the Oath skin. It is so big and it's so grand, which is a trend we are seeing with the more recent Oath skins. It retains her color scheme of black and red from her default skin, which is really nice. It also takes on the western style of wedding dresses, just like Azuma, Taiho, and Atago. I am not sure if there is a legitimate reason for choosing this style, but I think it's because it's more fan servicey. But hey, I am not complaining though, because all of them are really good. Anyways, back to Noshiro. I do love how the Manju needs to lift up the veil to accommodate her Oni horns, and the feathered design of her dress could be a nod to her other skin called Xanadu's Eventide, which has a bird theme going on. Now I did some digging of the name Xanadu and I found out that it is another name for Shangtu, which was the capital of the founder of the Yuan dynasty of China and the 5th Khagan emperor of the Mongol Empire, Kublai Khan. It was also featured in several literatures, one of which is the poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge in 1797. Because of this poem, the word Xanadu became a metaphor for splendor and opulence. Now I did try to find some parallels between the poem and this skin, but I couldn't make any similarities, so I guess it is just used in the metaphorical sense. Anyway, this skin is really gorgeous and very beautiful. I do love the bird cage that is mechanized to resemble her ship rigging, and the art itself is just so mesmerizing. Even the loading screen of this skin is as beautiful, with her glossy hair flowing in the night sky and that backless dress. Now her next skin is called Uncharted Festival Grounds. Now this skin is okay. If I'm not wrong, this is her very first skin, so they didn't go too far with it. Anyway, I do like how they blended the traditional kimono neckline with a skirt of similar length to her schoolgirl outfit in her default skin. Moving on is my personal favorite, Fragrance of the Eastern Snow. There are just so many things that I love about this. The baby blue color palette, her pose, her amazing hairdo, which you can see more clearly in one of the loading screen arts, and her outfit, man. It is just so gorgeous because I'm a sucker for fur coats with traditional Chinese outfits and backgrounds, so this skin is really top tier for me. Her next skin is called Cozy Enclave. Now, I do like this because it is very simple, and sometimes we do love to see our waifus in casual attire too. Then again, I do not have a lot to say for this skin, but yeah, I guess it's pretty cute. Her last skin currently is called Hold the Ice. Now, this is your typical fan service maid outfit. It has so many heart-shaped designs all around the dress, which is really nice, and I think having her in twin tails is cute and it matches the whole maid theme, but I still prefer her hair down. Oh yeah, before I move on, her chibi art is really cute across the board because of those big purple eyes. Alright, so what are my thoughts about Noshiro? She is not only really good in game, but she is also waifu material. Her skills do complement her stats and her supportive skills are very good, especially when running a Sakura Empire fleet because a lot of amazing destroyers are from there. So as mentioned before, if you manage to get Jinsu, you can stack her supportive skills with Noshiro and see your torpedo destroyer dish out immense damage. Or you can split them into 2 Sakura Empire torpedo teams. Finally, her character design is really top notch and y'all should definitely check out her artist's art done on Pixiv. You can find a lot of Noshiro art in there, and because it is done by the original artist, Noshiro's art style is consistent throughout. Alright, so here are all my thoughts about Noshiro. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do leave a like if you guys did, subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.